Thailand, Prawat, WAHORAM. Marcel Hug, 7 times a world champion, but he has never taken a Paralympic Games gold. 17 times he's been a major championship medalist, 4 times a Paralympic medalist. THAMSOPON of Thailand, Josh CASSIDY of Canada with that hypnotic spinning wheel that you'll see. Higuchi of Japan, CASSIDY here, the Pan American Games silver medalist in the 800, 1500 and 5000. Based in Ottawa. Alongside him in lane 7, Masayuki Higuchi of Japan, Gyu Dae of Korea, bronze in the 1500 meters at London 2012. Here he is, this silver bullet Marcel Hug, the 5 times world champion from Lyon in 2013. BALDE of Germany, Josh George of the United States, the marathon world champion last year in London. WAHORAM of Thailand on the inside, 9 global titles to his name. So WAHORAM, George, BALDE, Hug, BLICHFELDT, Kim, Higuchi, CASSIDY, and THAMSOPON of Thailand. 12.5 laps of the track. The top 3 automatically going through to the final, plus the next 4 fastest overall. WAHORAM working well on the inside, but it's the silver bullet making a very good, swift, early move. And that's Marcel Hug, man who won a lot of European titles in Swansea in the 800 and the 1500. The reigning Paralympic Games champion, not competing in this, David Ware, but he's going for 5 gold medals elsewhere. Felt that defending his 5,000 title might just have been a step too far. Maybe a case of a cycling peloton early on, few men taking up at the front, then going over to the side, and with a few laps to go, the proper racing going, and Hug has had his run at the front, and now he steps aside for the moment.
Interesting to just check through the ages of this field of 9. They're all in their 30s, so the endurance athletes will take a little while to reach that point in their careers. As Hug just drifts towards the back of this single file race at the moment as they come past the finish line once more.
George, WAHORAM and BALDE, the 1, 2, 3 with 11 laps to go. Hug has done his work for the time being. Josh George, he's based in Champaign in Illinois, where there's a very good para-athletics program. Former basketballer, gold in the 100 meters in 2008, gold in the 800 meters in Lyon in 2013. He's had his run. Time for WAHORAM to take over. Thailand, remember, had a brilliant World Championships in Doha. Lots of golds in the T54s and the 53s. BALDE in a very good position. And WAHORAM, the Paralympic Games champion in this 5,000 meters, Beijing in 2008. Bit of work being done by George on the outside as he tucks himself back in. There's 10 laps to go. And the man with that great spinning wheel on the side, Josh George of Canada. Well, lots of movies get made in Canada these days. He was a stuntman on Suicide Squad, the recent Marvel superhero movie. DC, should I say.
So down the back straight once more, and the crowd on the far side absolutely loving this race and watching the tactics and learning all about how it works. You know, taking their turn up the front. Early days, we're just 2.5 minutes into a lengthy men's 5,000. We've got one who's drifted off the back, so it's settled into a race in 8.
Nine laps to go. BALDE hitting the front for Germany, born in Guinea but moved across to Germany at a young age due to a life-saving operation, and he's bedded down in Germany very well. He's actually based in Bonn, which is where the International Paralympic Committee are based as well. Good work by CASSIDY. He's tucked himself well up into 4th place. BALDE has done his work up in the front for the time being. Higuchi now beginning to move up for Japan here, but it's still very much a nice, easy rhythm. Hug is tucked at the back of the main bunch. A lot of work being done, but it's not a very, very fast speed. You wouldn't expect that really in the 5,000 meters. Everybody's doing their turn up front. Higuchi likewise. This is Gyu Dae at Korea leading the way, the 800 meters world champion from 2013, and now a bit of a movement coming up on the inside. Good work by WAHORAM and also by Higuchi. Huga's tucked in quite well there, and Cassidy really hasn't fallen off the front very much. He still lies in third place, 7.5 laps to go.
So it's just Ebbe BLICHFELDT of Denmark who's drifted off the pace, and he's now over 100 meters behind this field. So 8 certainly still in it, and the noise here in the Enginau starting to increase. This is the first time they've had a look at a long wheelchair race, and the crowd absolutely loving it, and it's anybody's. As Higuchi just moves aside.
7 laps to go. Higuchi's done his work for the time being, and he's gone out into lane 3, which is a little far out, but that's okay. Huga's still in a very good position. Cassidy has moved his way back towards the back as WAHORAM looks to take up the initiative. Moving towards the front now is Josh Cassidy of the United States. WAHORAM in those national Thai colours, pushed well behind, tucked in nicely in second place. Marcel Hug in third. Surely he's going to end that Paralympic gold drought at these games here in Rio. It's quite amazing that all the world titles he's won during his career, but he's never been able to pick up a Paralympic Games title. That shiny silver helmet of his down in 7th place at the moment. Cassidy in 6th, but nothing much to worry about for anyone at the moment. A little bit of a gap developing now as the top 3 look to break away. WAHORAM and George, but still no panicking from the rest of the field yet. Little bit of acceleration, but they're still well in touch with 5.5 laps to go. Looks like Higuchi's still up there too.
WAHORAM just leading the front 3. See if they can establish a bit of a break here. But Hug's not going to let them get away, and now the group has suddenly grown from 3 to 5 as the tactics play out in this 5,000. 5 laps to go.
WAHORAM, George, Higuchi, Huga's there as well. 5 laps to go. They go through in 6:09. The world record set by Huga's 9:53 back in 2010. But when it comes to the championship racing, this is quite normal to see, as a lot of you will know. 4.5 laps to go. Still all tucked together quite nicely. THAMSOPON also up there for Thailand too, alongside his international colleague WAHORAM. But Hug is exactly where he wants to be, and Josh George as well. We've got 4.5 laps to go.
Well, it's a little piece of elastic, this race so far, as we had a little breakaway of 3. Now they're back to 6, 7, and it's still anybody's race as they come down the home straight once more, and 4 laps to go. And the tactics will really start to heat up.
THAMSOPON has done his work at the front for now, and George will take over the story. 4 laps to go, and he started accelerating quite heavily, but look where he is. He's way out in lane 3, and he's quite boxed in. I'm sure he's looking to accelerate to hit the front, but just as he was doing that, George was starting to do the same. There's the silver helmet of Marcel Hug, the silver bullet for Switzerland. They don't have the werewolf David Weir to worry about this time. George has done a bit of work, but now they slow down again. They've burnt off quite a few. It looks like a BALDE of Germany still hanging on to the back of this lead bunch of 7 as they come back towards the front, and Marcel Hug's in a good position. He's taken up the front. Good timing for this with 3 laps to go. George just on his outside. Hug having a look. WAHORAM up there too. 3 laps remaining, 1,200 meters, and Cassidy has worked well to get back in the inside, and BALDE is back involved again as Hug looks to accelerate again, try and burn them out even further. WAHORAM back up there. Now a lot of work coming on the outside. THAMSOPON and WAHORAM is still up there as the Thai hits the front, and that's WAHORAM, the man who's won 9 global championships in his day. 7 global championships for Hug. They've all been world championships. 2:11 they went through in the last 1,000 meters. 8:20 with 1,000 meters. 2.5 laps to go.
Well, Joshua George was doing a lot of work wide out. I don't know what that's going to take out of him, but he was caught wide for most of the previous lap. Still sitting in lane 2 at the moment. Josh George from the United States. And you've got Marcel Hug sitting nicely on the inside lane. They've really just put on a little bit of a burst to see who can stand the pace. And they have dropped a couple off.
We've got 700 meters to go, and it's Marcel Hug who's in the lead. WAHORAM making a bit of work for himself on the outside. Remember, it's only the top 3 who go through and the 4 fastest losers, but obviously those fastest losers' times could be anything. It just depends on the speed and the time. It's Cassidy beginning to fall off the back of this main group. BALDE making some good work for himself on the outside. It's Marcel Hug of Switzerland who holds the advantage, but WAHORAM has been man-marking him very well. Tucked in behind him is George, and behind him in turn for Japan is HIGUCHI, who we haven't mentioned for a while, but he hasn't gone away, and neither has BALDE. Cassidy's just falling off the back of that. We hit the bell, and the lead being held by Marcel Hug. WAHORAM working well on the outside. George in third. HIGUCHI is in 5th position. It's excellent work by all of these, but there's only 3 who are going to go through automatically. Hug still plying the trade well on the inside. Perched between lanes 1 and 2. WAHORAM on the outside. George a little bit boxed in for the United States at the moment, but going well in 3rd place. HIGUCHI just right behind him, but he's still very much in touch. Now we go into the final bend, and it's Marcel Hug pushing himself out well. The Thai going brilliantly also, and George has timed this well too. It's Hug who will win, and Hug takes it in 10 minutes 20.18. Marcel Hug couldn't have done that any better, really. Went out in the front with 3 laps to go and stayed there. And Josh George was tucked in behind him, goes through in 3rd place. And all the way around, WAHORAM looked very happy with his position, but Marcel Hug, 10 minutes 20.17. It's actually only 7 seconds outside the Paralympic record held by Australia's Kurt Fearnley. Set in 2008. We still have action on the track because Ebbe BLICHFELDT of Denmark still has half a lap to go and will be cheered all the way through. He fell back quite a bit there. No major medals in his career. Finished 7th in the 5,000 metres at the European Championships in Grosseto and 8th in the 1500. And he'll be cheered to the echo here. Just one final turn, final 100 meters to go for Ebbe BLICHFELDT for Denmark. And there's a large crowd, by the way, on the home straight in the lower tier. He won't win, he won't get through, but you know what? I think he likes the reception. The Paralympic Games, not all about medals and records. It's about getting a race run, and that's what Ebbe BLICHFELDT has done here.
Marcel Hug, Prawat WAHORAM of Thailand, and Joshua George, United States, certainly through and qualifying, a season best for the Thai competitor WAHORAM. 10 minutes 20.34. A nicely judged race by Marcel Hug. Did no more work than he absolutely needed to, and looked to have a fair bit in reserve coming down to the line. HIGUCHI of Japan finishing 4th from THAMSOPON, the 2nd of the Thai races. Josh Cassidy of Canada, 7th position. And then Gyu Dae of Korea, and Denmark's Ebbe BLICHFELDT, who drifted off the pace quite early. But Hug controlled it to the line. Top 3 going through, and then the next 4 best qualifiers.
I can't really explain why Marcel Hug has never actually won a Paralympic Games gold medal, considering all of the world and European titles and all of the major Grand Prix races he's won in his career. It was a brilliant battle between him and Weir, and David Weir winning all those gold medals at London 2012. But if you like this as neutral soil, the world record holder, the silver bullet, has put down a big, big marker in this opening heat, opening semi-final of the men's 5,000 meters T54. He wins 10 minutes, 20.17 seconds. So Hug, WAHORAM, George, the automatic qualifiers, the 1, 2, 3. Higuchi, THAMSOPON, BALDE, CASSIDY will have to wait. And those below, Kim, Gyu Dae,